Hey guys, my name is Sediak and welcome to a brand new series called OilTown, a sequel to the original OilTown that I created in City Skylines 1, but today we've made a return back to City Skylines 2. Guys, this series is completely based on the oil industry. We have this isolated island, or archipelago if you want to call it that right now, in the middle of the ocean. There is no connection outside of the region. We are completely isolated, and what we need to do is we need to create a town, a city, a civilization all on our own based on the oil industry. Now, we'll need to export the oil to make a profit, which means we have to create our own connections, which there's no train, there's no vehicle, all there's purely is sea and the sky. So it's going to be a very, very expensive way to get rid of the oil to make a profit, to hopefully stay afloat and create the greatest civilization the world has ever seen. Guys, this is OilTown 2, technically. If you've seen the first series of this on City Skylines 1 all those years ago, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of it. If you have seen that series, if you haven't, highly recommend going to check it out. But here is the sequel, baby. Now, to explain how this is going to work, let's try and do this step by step. We have this beautiful island and this little starting point. Now, I have everything unlocked because we're going to need it for many reasons. We're first going to have to start by building a harbour and connect it to the outside of the region. Now, we both need the two harbours, the passenger one and the cargo one, so we can get goods coming in, because we're also going to have to heavily rely on imports, which is quite expensive, to feed and fuel all of our places and buildings and people. And we need the passenger harbour to bring people in. Right now, I can afford, but I can't get an airport in just yet until we got things all up and running. Once we've kind of got that, we're going to have to figure out where they're going to live, where we're going to build the oil well systems and industries to kind of create the goods that we can export. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Now, we've got a couple of islands dotted around, which will enable us to expand if needs be. But we're truly isolated. And we need to begin. So everything's unlocked so I can build everything. We've got 6.25 million smackaroonies in the bank, but trust me, this is going to go pretty quick, and I feel like we need to change the name of it to OilTown. Let me do OilTown like that. Beautiful. So it's currently June. It's 7:30 in the morning. We have no one living here. So I think then we best rock and roll. So, in terms of the resources, if we go to view them right now, natural resources, you can see where the oil is. There's a few little spots for fertile land, but mainly it is oil everywhere, a little bit of ore, fertile land here and there, but mainly oil. Oil everywhere. So we have so much availability to export this goods. We are going to be running all the way to the bank right now. We really are. So, is it time? Shall we do it? Guys, smash that like button down below if you're hyped right now. Subscribe if you are new around here so you get notified when every single episode does come out. Don't rely on the recommended tab. Also, in the comment section down below, let me know. Are you happy that I'm now back in City Skylines 2? It kind of feels weird, but we are here. So some of the characteristics then, we've got a beautiful little bay we can utilize. There's some water up here that runs down into a little bit of a waterfall. It's all rocky and edgy over on this point. There's a couple of little islands that we can kind of, scale to. It is fairly interesting, but we're going to start here. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the harbors so we can have technically an outside connection for people to arrive and for goods to export, and also goods to be imported to supply our brand new town and civilization. So we're going to jump into transportation then, and we're going to go to the ship side of it, because we're going to start with ships. And there's two variations. We've got a normal harbour and we have the cargo harbour. Now they're very, very expensive. So if I build, wherever I place this right now is going to determine literally the layout to this whole town. because we are going to go and start quite griddy to begin with. So however I place this determines how the grids are going to align. So place the cargo one just there. Bam, it's now in. And that's now just completely determined, boys, how this whole area and how the whole town is going to ultimately work. So we have, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's right-hand traffic. Let me just get a kind of street down that goes in both directions. Yes, it is right-hand traffic, so we've got to remember that moving forward. I believe that they enter, and again, I could be completely wrong, in one way and come out the other, but I'm not too sure which way they come out. So I might just technically first build a simple looped system where they can enter in and out. So let's see, let's do like a two-way double lane, and let's kind of bring it back this way. So I'm going to bring it just to there, and I'm going to assume that they drive in one side, and I'm not sure which side they drive in and which side they drive out, so this is going to be fairly interesting. And on here, if I do the same thing going back, actually, how big of a bend do I want? I can always flip this around, so it's not a problem. I could do a 48 by 48 and then do another 48 by 48. Let me just flip this right around that way. And at least that way then we've got a kind of a system we can utilize. So if I split that in the middle just there and that goes across, that's now completely messed up. Sometimes it's just better to kind of build it directly off, because you get like the straighter-ish line is the best way to pull it. So we can kind of keep this separate. This is where the vehicles ride in and ride out, make things very, very easy for them. We also need to then build off this. So I don't know whether to build it there or kind of come out a little bit more. And this becomes our main drag of road for this area, and will determine how the rest of our town and city pretty much grows. So this determines a lot of things, boys. This is going to determine a lot of things right now. So it is really weird to build it based on the industry to begin with. That's how it feels to me. So let me get this medium road back in, and bring it right to just there. Now, the bit extra that we're now kind of missing, what we're going to do is we're going to do a complex curve, which will allow me to come off to here. Now, all the way down to there is an 86. So if I'm looking about... Sorry, was that an 86? No. Where did I get 86 from? 230. So I'm looking at about 115. So we'll go here. So if I click there, there, and then there, you get a very, very awkward bend out, but just bear with me on this. Now, this will all be subject to change and how we kind of build things and change things. It could be that I just kind of don't even do it like this. You never know. But we just don't know how this whole place is going to evolve. So based off that then, we're going to utilize these 4-lane roads, these medium roads, to kind of give us connectability. But eventually we'll have, like, you know, I don't know how if we'll have highways and stuff like that. That will be kind of interesting. But if I bring this out, because my next goal is to build a passenger harbour on this side. Now, a passenger harbour is going to need a road to connect to it. Also, I might have to anti-key it in so it merges with the shipping lane to the cargo as well. So if I also look towards doing something as similar as that as well, is doing like this nice little one-way looped system. And if I base it off, how close do I want to get? Is that close enough? So if I built this about here, now build that straight down, we are going to have to build the one-way system as well, but can that be snapped on? It can be snapped on, and we're going to bring it to about there. Right, can't get it down because we need the anarchy. So I'm going to anarchy that in. Right, and that's now placed in. So they're both merged in a weird way, so they will work. Now, eventually, we can kind of like key wall this all off and create like a real proper harbour. Box it all in. It will look really good. But that is our starting point. As basic and as simple as it is, the main goal is to turn a profit so we don't go bankrupt. That is the main goal right now. So, again, I'm not sure if there's like a certain way to turn in and turn out, so we kind of might have to change things up slightly. Here we kind of go down and round and out, so I think here it's a case of going down, round, and then back out that way. So getting that road, so where we pretty much just end it there, and then create, and we did a 48 by 48 on the other one, and then we'll kind of replicate it so we have some continuity on the go. And we'll go about halfway to there. And the 4-lane road, which is now going to upgrade. Bam, bam. And we'll go here. Oh, how far do we... Should we just leave it to there? I think leaving it there will be fine. A complex curve. So going to there is 216. So 204-ish will do us just fine. And turn you in. So we've got 2 loops, as awkward as they might look and they might be, that allow us to bring in ships, cargo and passenger related. Everything else we'll have to adjust and play around with as time goes on. Now the next thing we've got to do is we're going to make sure that we have a shipping route going out. So if I do a wide seaway, and because we have the Anarchy, we can connect this to it, and we'll do a continuous bend. So this is going to literally go around and out. So that is the seaway that we've got, our first one, where ships can just completely bypass OilTown as a whole. Now off this, we'll kind of bring in our own little run. But obviously we need to go a little bit narrower to get this connection. So if I come from there to go here... And I think we might be able to... No, it's pretty much going to change all of it, but that should do... I could actually just narrow it in general. Let me delete this one. And place you back in. Right, that would do us there. That's more even between the two. So things should hopefully play out for us. Now, we have no utilities or anything like that. So as soon as you jump into play mode, they're going to complain about there's no water, there's no electric, and all that stuff. But it is what it is. Now, we can add trains to these, but that's something that we'll probably add in the future once we can afford it. And yeah, I think we're ultimately pretty much ready to go. So, shall we figure out how the city is going to lay itself out? Now, I could make it where we lead down to this, and that's completely fine. We could add some upgrades to it, which is an extra pier, or also a transit terminal, which allows buses and taxis to kind of get there, which could be important in terms of bringing people in. We are going to also have to figure out as well the best way in which we're going to build the residential areas. I might expand this way to begin with. So if I treat that as my main point, to where a 4-lane medium road will just kind of continue up. Now, unfortunately for us, we are going to be quite gritty in this area. But these roads here could turn into like a highway or something like that. So there's always the possibilities of what we can do. But I like keeping them like separate loops designated away, unless we might change it. You just never know. So let's just kind of build them. Let's just kind of build like a nice little area. A nice simple little residential area that will be pretty nice. Alleys, pedestrian ways, where we can start moving people in. So I'm going to randomly pick here and then bring this road down. Now, while we will be sticking to a grid format, we'll also try our best not to stick to a grid format, if that makes any sense. So coming off you, we'll bring this down. So we're going to do about a 224 and then kick it in, right? A 224 and kick it in. 224, which we can't... Oh, we can just about go there. Which the funny thing is, because we have Anarchy, we technically are able to kind of build out of the region areas. But we'll try not to do that because, you know, I'll buy that tile. Do you know what? I'll buy that tile. And I'm gonna buy these 2 tiles. How much are they? Right, that's just adding more money that I've got to now find. Let's turn Anarchy off. And let's continue. So do the same again here. And to there and then down. we're getting a layout. This is going to be like the suburbs of where the first few people are going to move in and live within OilTown. So you kind of want it to be nice. And that's all we want it to do, is just be nice. Right, I'm going to bring you down to there. I'll do another one to there. I'll do another one to there. And then we are going to build a slightly kind of orchestrated slant. So if I went to here, which should allow me to kind of... And I might bend it with... And then try and figure out where this alignment's going to run up. So that all merges in. Bring you to there. And then what is the bend looking like here? Okay, not bad. Not bad. So we have some organization. I want to say we know what we're doing, but ultimately we just don't know what we're doing. I'm going to buy this tile, and that's the last tile I'm buying, okay? That is the last tile I'm buying. I'm going to bring that to... Oh, do I then bend this around to kind of keep it going? So I could, in a way... I want the continuous bend. So we then get to work with it. Okay, we're going to run this directly up now. And then we're going to bring these across. And then that's it. That's it there for this brief little suburb area that we get to work with. Right, okay. That's the beginning. Now, we do need some commercial stores, which we'll probably build along this 4-lane road. And we'll try and build some industry over here. But let's get, right, people moving in. So, we're going to have to create ship runs. So, we'll start with a passenger ship line. So, from here, and where's the closest point? Which will be over here. There's actually a couple here, isn't there? Can't get to that one. That's the pathfinding one for this. Directly in. There we go. Now, that will create a little harbour run where, if I view it right now, there is going to be two... Okay, we're going to assign just one vehicle on it. There we go. Make things a little bit cheaper. We'll charge $10 so we can actually charge people to move to the island. That's kind of funny. That is kind of funny. But we are going to need some services. So let's first get some residential buildings down. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could do like beachfront properties here as well, but we'll just go for them 6 to begin with. And if we put it into play mode right now and let them build, let's see what they complain about, and then we'll try and tackle each one of the issues one by one. Now, obviously, no cargo can come in just yet. So first things first, electric. So we've got a couple of options on what we can pretty much do, I'm assuming. I could start with wind power, because it will be fairly cheap, and it looks like it is quite windy around here. So the higher we go up this hill, as you can see, the less windy it becomes. But that would be a good way to incorporate wind into our energy. So I'm going to go with 1, 2, 3. Hopefully 3 should be enough. Now I'll connect these all up to one another. And then we'll bring it directly down. Try and get this connection to the road. To there. So that should provide us with electricity. Now the only downside is we're producing more than what we're consuming. So we can't really sell it back to outside of the region because we have no outside connections as of yet. Now we gotta sort out the water related stuff. So this could be where we now need to start thinking about the industrial area. Depends on how we do it. Now, I can do a water tower, which can pretty much go anywhere, right? I can do groundwater pumping, which is a bunch just there. My only concern is sewage. I don't really want to pollute back into the water. But a water treatment plant is very, very expensive. So we're kind of going to have to pollute back into the water, aren't we? Which is not the best way to go about it, unfortunately. But we might need to dump it into the bay. Right, I'm going to throw it down just here. Can I get it on the shoreline? Now, does it need a road to connect to this? I don't think it does. Right, that's there. That's the sewage taken care of, right? Yes. Water, though, we can suck it up with a pumping station from anywhere we would like. Or I can use a water tower. Now, it is the cheaper option out of all of it. So I might just kind of build it. Actually, can I drive? Because you've got to have a road connection to it, which is very annoying. It is very annoying. I'm wondering if I can maybe anarchy it to go here. So if I built that there, if I enabled anarchy, and dropped you in, that'll do the job I need it to do, right? And then that's everything all taken care of. Now, oh, does that ferry have anybody on board? Pause. It does not. Okay. It does not. There is nobody waiting either, but I think that's the fact that the buildings have only just been built. And we've just got the needs taken care of. Okay. So we'll get some commercial down, which if I get commercial down, they're then instantly going to require goods being delivered. Because obviously we're not producing the goods. So let's get some commercial down here. So do a nice big chunk of it just there. We could also manufacture the goods and become self-sufficient. There's always that side of it. So get the medium road and then continue this down. Right, let's get rid of anarchy because that will cause me many issues. And where would I build the industry then? Now, obviously, we're going to have to start building some oil areas. So it kind of makes sense to build them with the industry areas. So maybe here will be a nice little start for some industry. Now, let's see if I can kind of focus on setting this up. So there to there is the edge. So if I go there to there and delete you. So I don't want it to have junctions too close to where we need the traffic to flow. So if I do another 112 and then connect it in. If I do another 112 and connect in. So in the reality of that, I've just done it by a 224. So very similar to how we've just done the residential areas. So then another 224. That's not 224, Seniac. That was not 224 was at all. All the way across. And of course, straight smack bang in the middle. So we'll keep it like that for now and throw some industry down. That will settle a little bit of that demand. It will pollute the water there, but I'm not going to take it from any groundwater from there anyway, so I'm not too worried. That provides then some jobs. Now, what is this here? That's a cargo ship just passing on through. Nothing to do with us. Now, we haven't got a single person living here yet. We haven't got anyone moved in. Nothing like that is even happening right now. But at least we've got a very, very blank template to how things are going to work. And I'm hemorrhaging 10 grand an hour. So I need to reap those rewards back in. So we've got to get people moved in here then. That's our main thing we've got to do first and foremost. Now, we've got nobody. Do you know, I might just lower the ticket price to like 3 just to get some people getting in here. I don't know if that's going to affect anything at all. But we'll wait. I've got buildings being built, which is important. I just need people living here. So, where did the passenger ship go? The passenger ship went over to this side, didn't it? So I'll have to wait for it to kind of regen itself. Or do you know what? We've got now buildings, so I'm going to also build or create a cargo route. I'll make this one go over to here, so we kind of do a little bit of a different route for them. And the cargo shipping route, I'm only going to put 3 vehicles. Only going to do 1. So at least that will bring some goods over as well. We just got to play the waiting game. So, oh, there we go. 15 passengers. Okay, maybe I put the ticket price now back up to $10. 15 passengers on board, which means we're getting 15 people moving in. Is that the ship there? Yes. Oh, 15, 14, including a Doge. Okay, there we go. So we're about to see our first person that's going to move into OilTown. How glorious is this, boys? How glorious. Now, in the previous series where I'd done this, I always renamed the park after that first person. But unfortunately, it's basically the first person. I always treat them as my founding father. The only downside is, though, we don't have them abilities in City Skylines 2. So I might name this region, if I draw a district over it, as that first founding father. Or lady. Founding mother. It's not the correct term, is it? So I've got to wait for them to now exit the cruise ship. Right, there we go. How do we determine which is the first person? Is it you, Rebecca Larson, or Wallace? Do I kind of base it on who walks? Right, this person is so much further ahead than anybody else. Rebecca Larson. So we need to create like a little bit of a district right now. So district creation tool. If I was to name this area right now after our first founding father, which is a lady, so not technically a father. This is... And we'll name it after her surname. So her surname is Larson. Larson Park is what we'll name our first area after the first person that entered. Right, this is kind of cool, isn't it? So there we go. Do they walk all the way? Or will... I don't think anyone even have the money right now to buy a vehicle, right? So I think they literally might walk all the way. Damn. So we've officially got people moving here. Now we got a cargo ship coming in, which does... Oh! Right, there's me saying they've got no vehicles. Funnily enough, they're bringing 150 tons of vehicles now to OilTown. So people can actually buy cars. And they can actually then, boys... Yes, there's a vehicle dealership here right now ready to sell vehicles, but obviously can't because there is no vehicles, which is why a vehicle delivery has now just taken place. Right, where are they now? They're still walking. There's Rebecca Larson. Our first founding father walking... Well, it's considered to be very slow right now. But we officially have people here. So our population number doesn't increase just yet. I'm not sure they have to physically move into their house first for that to take place. I should have shortened it by having a little path there, but I ultimately just don't know what I'm going to be doing in this area. Now, we do have to provide some jobs, which we've got some jobs. We've got a bunch of this stuff. But we do need to set up some oil areas to actually utilize what this place is going to all be about. Now, building oil in this is different from City Skylines 1. It's a kind of region, a zone that you have to kind of build over. So it is very, very different. Now, I don't know what the best option would be for all of this. I don't know whether to kind of like chomp this up and then build right next to this industrial section a nice big oil area. So I placed you there. How expensive is this versus how much oil will it produce? So that's now in. I don't know if that was too small or not. Too small to see any buildings appear on it. But we have a little bit of an oil field. We probably need to make that a bit bigger. So that's probably not the best idea for me to go about doing it. And they're complaining about not enough lack of labour is what they're complaining about. We have 5 coming on the next ship right now. So this might be a slow progress. It might be a slow process right now to actually get people moving in. How far did they get? Are they fully walked over here now? I'm not sure how far they got. Oh, there they are. There's a few right now walking down the road, making it into their houses. And yes, now the population is climbing. Right, like I said, it's going to take a while to get everybody moved in here right now. But once they do, we should be rocking and rolling. So we're still losing lots of money. I think I might need to make that a little bit bigger. So I might actually just delete that. And just refrain from doing anything and just keep this as the industry. And maybe utilize something here. So if I was to kind of bring this out by 112... run it down to the same length there. And if I do a 240. And if I do a square, that's pretty much going to be the same as what we just had. So if I ran that to there, how far do I go to build an oil field here? Do I even want to build the oil field here at all? The answer could be yes. I could actually build it like this. So a 2, 2, 4. Run this right down. I could build it here. Now, I can have an additional road connection there in general anyway. And build an oil field just here to begin with. Now, all these areas will change. You know, there's no question about it. We will change them as time goes on. As we build and implement more. Distance too long. Oh, the distance. Okay, do you know what? We'll anarchy this to go super long. That will be fun, wouldn't it? There we go. Turn the anarchy back off. And then we'll see what comes of this. So definitely more jobs are available. But we will need a lot more people moving in. Now, is that a passenger boat? Yes, 11 people on that one. So we are increasing the population. Very slowly. Very slowly. Now, not a fat lot I can do right now until more people move in. This is just how it is. I don't know whether it's better for me to reduce the... maybe the price of this. If I go free, will that encourage more people to move in? Not sure. There is one passenger waiting in where it goes to pick up more people. So it's just a very, very slow process. Because they can't drive in, it's a lot more different. It's a lot different. This is all we can do. New set of people now walking in. And we're yet to see any cars, by the way, as well, aren't we? We are yet to see any vehicles. So, what can we do now to push a bit more forward? You can't do anything until you've got more residents in here. But what I would like to know is what's being stored here, by the way. A bunch of products. Now, once we can get people working in the factories, we could eventually then start having some exports. I can't see us having any exports right now. Yes, top exports, there is nothing. There is nothing to export right now. We're starting a brand new civilization from the ground up, so it's just going to be like this. It is just going to be like this. Right, off that ship now goes again. There's 2 people now waiting, which is not a lot. There's a lot of cargo on the way in right now. So these cargo ships having to bring everything. So they are very slow. They will be very, very slow. And a factory over here. None of these have got any workers just yet. I'm assuming because the commercial's so close. Yeah, there's couple of employees here and there. They're choosing to work in the commercial area first over everything else. Now, what complaints do they have already? Lack of entertainment and unreliable healthcare coverage. Now, this is all stuff that's going to cost me an arm and a leg to kind of get it. Healthcare, arm and a leg. This is stuff that's going to cost me a fortune right now to even implement and pay and run and maintain. I will give him a park, though, to give him a little bit of entertainment value. And hedge park, multi-purpose park. How expensive are these in terms of upkeep? They can be quite expensive. I mean, these are a lot cheaper, but they're a lot smaller. A tiny city park, a dog park, a small park. I might implement this small park just here. That'll provide a little bit of entertainment value. Which I'm enjoying seeing the most, and what I'm quite happy to see is more and more houses are getting started to be built. So they are bringing more people in. Did a lot more people just get off there? Yes. So waves of people are slowly coming in. There's 11 people now waiting. So I could, in reality, increase the number of ships on that, but we'll still keep it to 1 to reduce the outgoings. Newer houses are being built, so I think. At this moment in time, the starting point to get us to where we need to be is going to take some time. There's no question about it. It is going to take some time. So we've added in the entertainment. Now there's an abundance of entertainment, which is really funny. Unreliable internet service. Yes. I mean, how much would like a small little radio mast? It's only $5,000 a month to build one of these. So I might build that right there, which will provide internet for the island and its few residents, which should make them a little bit more connected. So the internet service statistics should change. More houses are being built, which is great. So this is all pointing in the right direction. Now, that ship going back, there's 15 people waiting now. We've got 21 so far on the island. We've got a lot more than that. You just got to wait for them to move in. And it will snowball. It will eventually start snowballing as more and more people move in. So while we wait then, this is the gist of it. If you didn't see the first OilTown series, I basically built a city isolated on an island, and it had to utilize its natural resource of oil to build up an economy and export the goods to pay to expand. And that's what we're pretty much going to have to be doing in this series, which is going to be really exciting. It's also like the Farm Town series that I did on City Skylines 2, where we built a region upon the farming industry. This one we're building a whole nation, a whole island based on the oil industry. And because we have no road connection going outside, we're going to be stretching the game to its limits. So 13 people plus 2 animals coming on. Very good, boys. Very good right now. And did they enjoy the internet? Apparently it's unreliable, but at least you have internet, guys. Okay, at least you have internet. Now, how much are we losing still? We're starting to lose a little bit more because we've implemented newer things. Now, to save some money, we could reduce some of the budgets. I can bring the road budget down to 50%. I can bring the electricity. I can actually increase the service fee by, say, 120. Reduce that by to 60%. How much electric are we utilizing? So we're okay right now. We don't need to implement any more. So that will save us a few pennies. Water and sewage will increase the service fee. You know, they're going to have to pay a premium if they want to live in this utopia that we've currently got. So what's that like for now? Water. So definitely a lot of availability there. We could probably bring that down even halfway and save a few more pennies. So bring it all the way down. There we go. Now transportation. Now, I don't know how this affects it. So efficiency. Efficiency affects how many public transport vehicles are currently in use. Okay, we don't need to worry about that. We'll reduce that dramatically. But I'll keep everything else. So with those small little changes to the budget, we've gone from losing 11 grand to now losing 9 grand. So actually, I feel like it's still going down, that number. Or is it? I'm not sure. So we've managed to save 2 grand after all that. Which doesn't really feel like much, does it? But the population's growing. We're now 29 people strong. We are now 29 people strong. It's like everyone's got their own individual house. It's kind of funny in many ways. So they will complain about the high fees for, you know, the expenses and stuff like that. But it is what it is. Okay, it is what it is at this point. There's not really much I can kind of do about it. Now, this ship's bringing 7 people in. There is 5 people waiting to go again. 2 people waiting to leave. So, it's kind of sad that people do want to leave as well. Why would you leave this utopia? But more houses are building, though. That is the thing I'm most excited about, is more houses are being built. It shows progression. It shows that we are growing. It's just a very, very, very slow growth. It really is. It really is. Oh, more. Actually, do you know what? I think we might have a little bit of a growth spurt right now. We may be. We may be having a little bit of a growth spurt with all these new buildings coming in. Now, no one works in the oil well just yet, but it could be an issue with the lack of skilled labor, so we are going to have to educate people. Cargo ships are still bringing lots of stuff in right now. They really are. So we've managed to get an abundance of goods coming in. Is anybody working in any of the factories? I don't think so. It might be too far away. None of them have even paid enough right now to be able to afford to buy a car. Or it could be that no one's working. No, I'm about to say, no one's working in the car dealerships to sell vehicles, but it looks like they are. It does look like they are. There's a lot more going on right now. So, they're going back to pick up 20 people. This might be the most amount of people it's brought in at a single time. So we're getting somewhere, boys. We are getting somewhere. Now, looking around the area, we've got this beautiful little river right now that runs down into a little bit of a waterfall. Could we build the world's smallest dam? Who knows? Lots of forestry anyway, so we can maybe utilize some wood stuff if I need the resources. There is ore, and there is fertile land to grow food and vegetables if needs be. But it's mainly oil that we need to capitalize on. It really is. Once we can build big refineries and other stuff that relies on that type of industry, we're just making cash. I could also build oil, power plants that utilize oil. Is there one that exists? I'm not sure. I know we could do it in City Skylines 1. Right, that ship's now on the way back. It's got 25 people on board. So the most amount of people it's brought in a single journey. More residential buildings are being built. You don't realize how much you rely on roads as an outside connection. You really don't realize how much you kind of rely on them. So I think this is a great start then to begin with. It really is. It is a case of just kind of waiting it out. With every person that does move in, we do slightly earn a little bit more, you could argue. We kind of do. We'll pay more taxes and stuff like that. But a lot of this stuff, we're kind of struggling. So it will eventually start snowballing, is the main thing. It will eventually start snowballing, and I think we'll also have to look at maybe getting some bigger houses too. But is it starting to rain? I believe it is. This might not be the best start yet, but this is going to be one hell of a challenge, boys. This is going to be one hell of a challenge to get OilTown to where it needs to be. The first goal is to make it make profit, which we will struggle until we've got an abundance of people living here that can fill the positions of the jobs and earn enough money to pay for all the current services that we currently have going on. It would be nice to export some power, so maybe trying to lay some lines outside of the area. If we invested in that, we could try and harness the excess power that we're producing and sell it, and sewage and all that kind of jazz, as a way of recuperating back some money. But where's that big bulk of people that have just walked in? There they are. They're all walking down right now. We do have to kind of create a little bit of a shortcut path route right there. We kind of do. But as that boat now sails back, there's 6 people waiting. So I think it's waves. I think it's just waves of people that once they move in, it will then grow the next wave of houses. So once they get to where they need to get to, the next wave of houses will get built. But I feel like this is a pretty good start. A challenging start, but guess what, boys? I do like a challenge. So if you can see what this series is about to become and you're hyped for it, then please make sure you smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you are new around here, and until next time, I will see you all soon. So, goodbye.